Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome in this session. We are delighted to extend a warm welcome to each of you for today's insightful session on data manipulation with the Pandas, featuring our esteemed speaker, Dr. Upinder Kaur. In the ever-evolving realm of data science, the proficiency to manipulate and analyze data is a pivotal skill, and today's session promises to the significant milestone in that journey. We are honored to have a Dr. Kaur, a distinguished expert in the field, here to lead us through the intricacies of pandas and share her expertise on effective data manipulation techniques. Dr. Upinder Kaur is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Akal University, Bathinda, Punjab, India. She received her Ph.D. degree at the Department of Computer Science and Application, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. She is in teaching since October 2006. She holds Master of Technology degree in Computer Science and Engineering from MMEC Mullana, Ambala from India. Her main research interests are in the areas of distributed computing, distributed data structure, cloud computing, data science and analytics, machine learning, sport vector machine, stream analytics, deep learning, bio-inspired computing, etc. She is having hands-on experience on big data analytic, data science, machine learning with the Python, R, Matlab, Cloud Sim Simulator, etc. She has focused in the last few years on the research issues in application of deep learning in data sciences and analytics, cloud computing, biosignal. She has attended many national and international conferences, workshops, and she has more than 30 research papers in national and international journals and conferences. She is also a member of IEEE, ACM, and supervising three PhD scholars and several graduate and undergraduate students in multi-cloud domain and data science in agriculture and deep learning in biosignals. As we collectively embark on this educational journey, I encourage each of you to actively engage, pose questions, and make the most of this opportunity to enhance your data manipulation skill. Without further delay, let's delve into the world of pandas with the Dr. Upinder Kaur. May this session prove both informative and inspiring for all of you. Uh, Dr. Upinder ma'am, welcome in this session. Now over to you.
So, very good morning to all. So, first of all, I'm really grateful to Dr. Meherchand for inviting me in this FDP and providing me such an opportunity to share my thoughts on the pandas and data manipulation during the 2 hours workshop. So, first of all, I want to share my screen. So, today's my topic. My screen is visible, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Desktop is visible, screen is very clear, and the voice is also very perfect.
Okay. So the topic of today's session is data manipulation using pandas. So first of all, I'm start from the very beginning, and at the end we will do one project using pandas, and we will do all the basic tasks that will be handled using this library pandas. Actually, this library is above the NumPy library in which we can do all the numerical features, and this is the above the NumPy library in which we can do all the data manipulation and data handling tasks. We can do the data cleaning, we can do the data manipulation, we can do the feature engineering using this Pandas library. One by one, we will go through all these, and these are the basic concepts that we are going to cover here: data cleaning, data transformation, data analyzing, and these are the topics that we will cover in this. So first of all, let's have some background about the Pandas. It is a build on the top of NumPy package, means a lot of structure is NumPy is used to replicate in the Pandas. It means all the NumPy functions are available under this. Data in Pandas is often used to feed the statistical analysis. So we can also use the SciPy library with it. We can plot whatever the data with the Pandas. So we can interact with the Matplotlib in this. So we can use the Pandas in the machine learning algorithm like scikit-learn. So these are the some of the features that we can interact with the Pandas using the other libraries. So prerequisite is that we need to learn basic Python when we want to work on the data handling or data visualization using the Python libraries. So first of all, we will go with the installation. As we are having number of platforms and IDs where we can work with the Python. So if you are using the Anaconda, so it is a pre-installed libraries. But if you are using Spider, Visual Studio or PyCharm, so there you need to install the library as per your project. So some of the commands that we can use, if you are using the Anaconda, so you need to write this command, conda install pandas to install the library. So if you are using the Python, so you need to write this command, conda install pandas to install Python.
Ma'am, please unmute your mic. And also, I request to all the participants, you are permitted to unmute your mic during the session if you have any question. But please keep in mind, if there is no required, please keep your mic muted. Thank you. Ma'am, please unmute
Uh,
your mic.
Sir, my voice is audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, perfect audible.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think I muted my mic, है ना? So I will repeat. I will repeat.
While changing the setting, that's why your mic was muted.
Okay. So first we will study the Pandas library today. So it is a wonderful library that we can use for the data handling and data manipulation task.
Ma'am, you
We
have
can
covered all these. Like your mic was muted during the installation part. Conda install something.
oh, I'm repeating that one.
Okay.
It is now I'm audible. Is there
Yes,
any
yes,
issue
ma'am.
now?
Yes.
I think it is okay now.
Yeah. It's okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we can do with these libraries when we can use the pandas, we can use the NumPy, we can use the Matplotlib, we can work with this scikit, we can work with this SciPy. These are the libraries which interact with the pandas and we can work with that. So if you want to install the pandas, we have a multiple versions because we are having a multiple IDs available for the Python. So if you are using the Anaconda, what you need to install this command, conda install pandas. Or if you are using IDE like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, then there you need to write the command pip install pandas. So both these commands are used to install this library pandas for your use. So once you have done, for example, in Jupyter, I am running this command pip install pandas. I'm using the Jupyter notebook. So once you get this, you click on this run button. I think everyone, because it is a day 7, so everyone is familiar with the IDs that is used in these kind of uh, packages. So I'm using the Jupyter notebook here and I'm using the pandas library. So I have installed this one. So if it is already available, so you will get the message. Otherwise, it will install the particular library for your use. So once the library is considered, you have installed the particular library, the next step is that you have to import it. So if you want to import the pandas, you need to write import pandas as PD. You have to write down import pandas as PD. So in the pandas, we have two data structure that is available. just give me. In the pandas, we have two data structure that is available. One is the series and one is the data frame. So what does it mean? Just a minute. So what does it mean? It means we are having two features available, series and the data frame. So first of all, let's see what is series and what is data frame. Series in an essential, a single column. It is a single dimensional. So we have only a column, but data frame is a matrix. It is a combination of rows and columns. So basic difference is that series is one dimensional and data frame is a multi-dimensional unit. So first we will declare the series. We will do work on the series. After that, we will move on the data frame. So I think till now it is clear. So first we start with the series. So because we are using some of the NumPy functions, so we are importing both of the libraries, pandas and NumPy. So I have import pandas as PD, imported NumPy as NP. I imported both the libraries. So first we have to create a series. So what we need to write, we have a function. PD is the object of pandas library. After that, we need to write dot and we need to type one keyword, that is the series. In this, S is capitalized here. In series, S should be capitalized. So here we are creating an empty series. So when we run this one, so you output the you will get is the series and the data type, it is an object, and what kind of object, it is a series object, and inside the series it is the empty box stat because we are not giving any value in the series. So this is the way in which we can create a series in pandas. So after that, there are multiple options which we can create a series in the pandas. So we can create a series using ND array, that is the NumPy array. So for this, what we need to do, first of all, we will create a 1D array. In this, we are using np.array function and we are passing one list that will convert it into the NumPy array in a one-dimensional array. So that is stored in the variable first. So after that, pandas.series, we are supply this NumPy array, one-dimensional array as a pandas series, and it is stored in the variable b. So when we run this code, so what we will see, we have these objects in this series A, B, C, D, and A. These are the objects of this series. So in this way, using this code, we are able to create one pandas series. So series, we are having only one dimensional array. So we are having only one column. So this is the one way. And here, see here, there is a 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is this? This is the index. A, B, C, D, E are the elements of the series. Else, just a minute. A, B, C, D, E are the elements of the series and 0, 1, 3 the index. This is the default index set by the pandas. If you want to create your own index, you can do it. You can write the index column here. Rest of the code is same. We have created one ND array. We stored it in the one variable. We passed this variable in the panda series, but we want to change the index item. So what we are going to do here, we are defining one more parameter in the series object. In this, we are defining index, and inside this index, we are giving some values. Here I am giving 50, 51, 52, 50. You can write anything. So whatever you write here, it will appear as an index in the series part. So when you run this one, a new series is created, and this is the not the default index, this is defined index as we defined in the function. So in this way, using the NumPy array, we can define our own series. So one more thing, we can also create the Panda series using the dictionary function. Because we know that in Python, we have one data structure dictionary. It is a key value pair. So we have defined a simple dictionary here. It is a key A and value stored is 0. Similarly, B, 1. Similarly, C, 2. So it is a simple dictionary I have declared here. So I have stored this dictionary in the variable first. So I have passed this dictionary in the Pandas series function. So once we run with this one, we have created one series using the dictionary. So till now, we have learned two methods using the ND array and using the dictionary. We can create a Pandas series. We have two options here. We can write the object. We can also give the index there. So in both ways, we can create the series. Some other options are also available. If you are having some indexes, you want to change the indexes in the dictionary, then again you can do this. Similarly, uh, in this we have a dictionary. As per the previous, we have given a dictionary. Now again we have taken a dictionary, but this time we have given this dictionary, but we changed the index part. So whatever the index you have given in the series parameter, that will appear in the final series. But see, the thing is here, B, C, D, A, and E. Our dictionary has only 4 options. So we have given the fifth index, but that fixed index is not available in the dictionary. So it will treat it as NaN because that parameter is missing. So index parameter created a value, but it is not available in the dictionary map with the NaN. So again, if you have this file, it is automatically converted your data, all the missing value into the NaN. NaN is what? Not a number. Similarly, there is one more method to create a Pandas series is that you can write a scalar value there. For example, pd.series is a function in which we can create a series. Instead of passing any variable, any array, any dictionary, I have written only one value 3. So 3 is the value that I want to store in the series, and I have passing some index values 0 to 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 5 elements that I want to store. So if you run this code, so what you will get, because you have given only one value, that is stored in all the index terms. So these are the multiple ways we can create a series. So I repeat once, this is the function in which we can create Pandas series, and we can create series using ND array, we can create using dictionary, we can use the index part, we can use the scalar terms. So this is the simplest way in which we can create a multiple Pandas series. So one more thing, I have created a list here. I have created a simple Python list here, and after that I convert this Python list into the series. So what I did, pandas.series, in bracket I have passed the series, that is the marks and list that I have stored earlier. So what pandas will do, it create a series for this list. So in this way, we converted the list, dictionary, and array into the Pandas series. So once we creating this, because we have created number of examples of creating Pandas series. So after that, we will see how to access the various elements in these Pandas series. So there are two methods. One is the ilog way and other is the log. What is the difference between that? I stand for the integer. If you want to point anything numerically, means index wise, for example, these are the index given here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to access any of these elements with their index value, then we need to call for the ilog. Series is the object, and after that you have to write dot. After that you have to give the ilog function, and then you need to write the position. So when you run this, you will get the item that is stored in this index using the ilog function. In the log function, if you have some string value or something other than the numeric value, if you write that one, it will also give you the location. It will also give you the item that is stored in this location. It means we can access the element using the ilog and log method. In the square bracket, we need to write the index or we need to write the name. Okay. Once we declare with the series, we learn to know about how to access the elements in the series. So what we will do next, there is a one function describe. Describe is a function is pandas that is used to describe the total data that we have in the series or in the data frame. So whenever we call the describe function, we are getting these options. So it is in the data frame or in the series, we are getting the same set of options. For example, it defines the total number of items, that is the count, whatever the mean of these items, what is the standard deviation, what is the minimum, what is the quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and what is the maximum value. So it will provide you the complete statistic of the series as well as the data. So describe function is used to define or describe your series or your data frame. So you can run this one. So once you run this one, you will get these values. So in separate, if you want, because these values are called using the describe function, these values are separately also available. For example, if you want to count the number of elements in the series, then what we need to do, series dot count is a function. Is there any other option? Yes, we have. We can write the length. Length function is also used to find out the number of items in the series. So both options are the same. We can get the same result. So if you want to count the number of items or you want to find the length of the series, then there are the two options. We can use any one of these and you will get the answer. After that, we are having the find out the row wise or column wise, find out the maximum value. So you have the function write max function. Similarly, min function. And if you want to do the calculation similarly like in the Excel, you want to get the total of the whole column, then what we have the sum function. If you want to sum of all the series items, so there is a function series dot sum. So sum will do the totaling of all the items that is available in the series. So mean function provide you the average. Median function provide you the median value. Standard deviation will provide you the deviation from that mean. Variance is the provide you the variance function. And there is one more function, the absolute mean absolute deviation. We can also find it from here using the MAD function. We can also calculate, there is a one change. There is also one function, we can also check the quartile ranges here. So standard deviation means, so there is a one function that is the quartile range. So it will also provide you the 20 to just say quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 2. We will get these values also from the series well. So these are the statistical function that is available in the pandas that we can apply in the data frame as well as the series. So other functions that we can do with the series is the conditional, or we can use the Boolean conditions that we can, Boolean indexing that we can do in the data frame as well as in the series. So what is this Boolean? That we have certain condition, some logical condition that we can impose on our series and we will get a result upon that. For example, here is a series and we want to filter out the students on the basis of some marks. So what condition we write here? Series dot log. It means we will get some of the indexes where this condition became true. So what we are doing here, SCR is what the Pandas series just we have declared. So we are finding out the greater than 80 and less than 90. So what we are finding out? We are finding out the number of subjects in which we are having this range. And according to this range, we will get a particular range. See, first we are printing the series. After printing, we are calling this function. And after that, we are printing the output of this function. So first output is 0 to 9. This is the available range. And available range, we have made a query. And in this query, we are getting this output greater than 80 less than 90. So in this range, we get two values 89 and 83. So this condition is also known as the Boolean condition, or we call it as the Boolean indexing. So in this series, we have applied this condition using the log function, and we are getting the total values that came under this condition, and we call it as the Boolean condition. Okay, we can have the possibility that if we have multiple data or objects in the series, for example, we have a string is over there, we have a number values over. If you want to do the type conversion, that can also be possible. For example, you can do the conversion from integer to float, string, date, number. This can be done using the D type, and we are having one more option as a type. These are the two options which we can use to convert the data type of the series as well as the data frame. So type conversion can also be possible, and as type is used to also convert a particular data type. We can also convert with the float. We can also convert with the integer. So these are the options. So can we have series with multiple data type? Yes, we can have. Or see, in this, we are having a list that we have passed to the pandas series. And in this list, we have a heterogeneous data. We have numeric value, we have string value, we have Boolean value as well. So when you created this as a Panda series, you will get everything. And we termed it as an object. So if you want to change the data type, you can follow the above code as type. Whatever the code you will read, it will convert into that data type. Okay. Can we do some kind of mathematical calculation with this series? Yes, we can do. For example, we can do the broadcasting. Broadcasting is available to the all type, all series. See, in this series, we are going to multiply the entire series with the 2. So first we print the series. After that, we are printing the series after multiplication with the scalar value 2. So we can apply any of the arithmetic operation on the series as well. Similarly, can we do arithmetic operation on the 2 series? Yes, we can do. Similarly, see, we have 2 series, series 1, and we have the second series, series 2. We are going to do the addition of these two series. So what we are getting, 10 plus 5, 15, 20 plus 15, 35. What we are going to do, we are going to add their value at the particular index, and we are creating a new series after that. Similarly, we can do the subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, everything we can do. Can we do it?
Actually, ma'am, I have
Hanji.
one question.
Yes, sir.
Uh, in the previous, you add two series, right?
Yes,
Series one
yes,
and series two. Is it
Hanji.
mandatory the length of these two series must be
Yes,
equal?
yes, yes.
Okay, so this
Otherwise,
sum
it
is
will, yes, sir.
okay. Addition of these two series is element by element.
Yes, element by element.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sir, if this series length is unequal, so what
Okay.
it will do, it will convert that into the not a number. I have given that
Okay.
example also. See, other in the previous, we have a equal length. The series
Mm-hmm.
1 and series 2 have the equal length. We can do all kind of
Yes.
operations over there. No issues in that. But in case we have unequal length, so what we'll do,
Okay.
for example, in this we are having 6 elements. In the series 4, we are having only 4 elements. So when we do this operation, let me call this one. And when we do the operation on this, so the last element, we are getting NaN. Why we are getting NaN? Because 60 is one element that I got in the series 3. But in case of 40, we are having an empty space. It can be anything. So it is not going to do any addition. What it will do, it will convert that value. It will be not a number. It means there will be something else that will be stored in the memory at that location. So it is not going to add that one. So it's not going to give any error, but it will convert that data into the NAN. By default,
Okay.
Pandas will convert
Ma'am,
into
if in the series number 3 there is only one element more than the series number 4. If we have more element in series 3,
okay.
uh,
I will do that.
yeah, okay. So please run the file.
See,
Yeah, okay. So the empty space will return in the form of a NaN.
yes. So
But in the
see,
case of mat,
if you have in series 3 a numerical value, and in the
hmm,
series 4 you have some string value, so there will be error.
okay. But in the
Yes,
case of the same thing when we do in MATLAB, this will return error.
yes. See here, I'm converting this value into the string. So you will get a different result now. So see here, what is the error we are having? We can't convert string and integer
Yes. Thank you,
because
ma'am.
we need to add the same data type. Okay. So let's do with the another part. So just a wait. So first we do with the series part. Just wait. First we finish with the series part. Next we start with the data frame. So in the series, we understand how to create this series. We understand series is a single dimensional. We understand we can do everything in the series. We can do all the pandas function. We can apply all the pandas function in the series as well. So nextly, it is a broader concept, that is the data frame. It is a much more powerful than the series because whatever the data we want to analyze, it is never in the series form. It is always in the data frame form. Why data frame? Why it is in the data frame? Because we are having the Excels, we are having the CSV files, we are having the multiple tabular data. So instead of series, data frame is a more feasible option for that. So what is data frame? It is a multi-dimensional data structure. It means it is a kind of matrix, it kind of tabular data. It contains the rows and columns, like a table in the SQL or like a table in the Excel. So data frame is what? It is a collection of rows and columns. It is having a multiple series in it as well. So again, what we need a pandas library. We want to import that one. And there is a one function in which we can create a data frame. That function is pd.data frame. So see the things to remember here. D for data and F for frame need to be capitalized. This is the function name, data frame. D and F are the capital one. So with this function, we can create any data frame using pandas. So first of all, we will frame using the ND array or list and dictionary to create the data frame. After that, we will move to the CSV files as well. So first we will take the example. So this is a list in the Python. We stored it in the variable marks, and after that we will convert this into the data frame. Okay. So first we have defined one list. Now we convert that list into the data frame. So what we did here, we just call a function data frame. We pass the parameter that we want to make a data frame and we run this one. So now this is not a series. If you see the data type of this, it will provide you the data frame. Okay. So again, we are having a multiple list. Where can we convert it to the data frame? Yes, we can. So similarly, this is the data frame we get it now. So earlier we have only one dimensional array. In this we are having two dimensional array. It is a combination of name and age of the student. So, sorry, name and marks of the student. So what we are getting in the data frame, we are getting a 2D matrix. We are getting one column name, we are getting one column marks, and we are getting the multiple rows in that. So this is the data frame. Data frame is what? Here we have more than one column. Okay, so this is the list that we passed in this. And instead of index is also available in the data frame, but instead of index, we have defined columns keyword here. Columns keyword is the attribute where we can store the name of the column that we want to highlight in our data frame. See, in the beginning, it is written here name, it is written here marks. It means the first column is identified as the name of the student, and the second column is identified as the marks of the student. Similarly, we can also define the data type here. We are adding one by one attribute so that we can able to distinguish it. So we are using the simple list to define the data frame. After that, we add the column name. After that, we add the data type also. So when we run this one, actually we need to run this first. Similarly, after that, we are going to run this one. Just let me check this one. Okay. First, we need to run this one. So we are getting the error here. Why? Because we are having two columns here, names and marks. It is for the example, because we want to convert the data type to float. But in the data type, we are having two objects, name as well as the marks. So you can change it by the as type, and you need to define df dot marks, and you want to convert as type to float. Then it will convert only that particular column into float and the rest of the thing into the string. This error indicates that we cannot convert string to float. So I think you understand that if you are having multiple columns and you want to convert the data type of that, you need to do it by individual column, not the entire data frame is the same. If it is the numeric one, then we can do, otherwise not. Okay. The next thing that we want to do, first we created with the list, next option is the y numpy array. We want to create the data frame using the numpy array. So in this, we have a numpy array. In this, we are having this numpy array and the np.array. We creating the numpy array, and we again define the math marks as the name of the column that we want to highlight in the data frame. Because we are using the numpy array, that's why we import one more library numpy here. So again, one data frame is created here using the numpy array. This time we are not using the list, we are using the np array. Similarly, we can use the dictionary also. So in dictionary, we have created a set of dictionary in which we have a name of the student and we have passed the marks of the student. So after that, we want to create this student dictionary as the data frame. So we use the same function pd.dataFrame and pass the student variable, and we created a dictionary into the data frame format. See here, rows and columns. We get the name and we get the math marks and we get the number of rows here. Okay, so we have created a dictionary into the data frame, numpy array, and list into the data frame. So what can we do? Can we provide the index as we done in the series in the data frame? Yes, we can. Otherwise, it will provide you the default index. See in the previous example as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2. This is what the default index. If you want to change your index, then you can also do in the data frame also. Yes, you need to add a more parameter here, that is the index, and you can supply number of key elements that we need to pick up in the index term. So when you run this, the same data frame we have as the previous redefined with the new index. See, We can change the index as per our requirement. We can do the name of the columns here. We can add the index here. We can do everything here. Okay. So in the data frame, we are having two columns and one is stored for the index. So if you want to access a particular column, what we need to do? Data frame df. See here, we have stored the entire data frame in the variable df. So that's why I'm using the df here. So in the df, we are putting in the square brackets the name of the column that we want to check. So see, we have written only one column here. To select a particular column in the data frame, what you need to write? Data frame name, then in the brackets column name. Then when you run this one, you get a particular column. If you want to add the name of the second column also, so for the second column, just a minute, math marks. For the second column, I write a comma here, and in the quotes, math marks. Just wait. Just wait. In the multiple columns, we can write the name of the column and we can provide, because that will be we can write the name of the column here. Just wait. I will do that one. Actually, I will do that later. I will do it in the later part. I have done this one. So just give me time. So we want to access the number of columns as with the data frame and respective column name. We can do that one. And for just wait. Previously, we have defined one data frame. In this, we have the name and marks of the students, and we can again add this into the data frame. We can create a data frame using the NumPy array, list, dictionary, and we can also create a data frame using the series also. We can also create the data frame using the series also. For this, because we are using the pd dot series, we can create a series. We can create the index here. In this way, we have created one data frame, and we have created that data frame, and we want to add this one using the, we have created a data frame. Now we have added a new column. Similarly, previously we are having a data frame with the only name and math marks, and we are using to add a new column in the data frame. What we did here, we write the new column name here, and how we are getting the value in this, there here we are passing one series here. So when we run this one in the previous data frame, we are adding physics marks, and similarly we are adding the chemistry marks there. First we will run this one because we need to need this later. So we will run this one. So in the previous data frame, we add one column physics marks and another column with the chemistry marks. We have done with the both the example with the pd dot series as well as the pd dot data frame. So we have, in this way, we can add the columns in the existing data frame using the list, array, dictionary, or Pandas series. We can have multiple options we can add in your data frame. Or the next option is, can we group these columns into a one column? So for example, we are having a marks of mathematics, physics, and chemistry. can we have a new column getting the average, getting the percentage, getting the total of these? Yes, we can do. So we can do this by the new column name is here df total, and how we can get the value of this is against this assignment operator. So what we are doing to here, df math marks plus df physics marks plus df chemistry mark. So we are creating a new column here total. What we are getting in the total? Sum of these three columns. So when you run this, you are getting a new column with the total marks, math, physics, and chemistry. Similar way, we can delete this one. So for delete, we need to write del function. And what we want to delete from the data frame, what we want to delete, write the column name. So in the previous one, we have added a new column total. In the next, we are going to delete this total. So in the data frame, now we are having only marks. We are not having the total marks. So we can have one function that is the del. We can have the another option using the pop method. So in pop, we can drop the column. So there is a syntax difference. In the del function, we have this method. We del function, then we have the data frame name, then we have the column name. But in the pop, we are having a data frame, then dot pop. In bracket, you have to write down the name of column, and the bracket changed here to the circular one instead of the square one. So here again, we are deleting one column using the pop function. Okay. So what we are doing insertion in the data frame, a new column, and we are deleting from the data frame. df.physics, this is the method. This is the name of the new column. And this is from where we are getting the data in this new column. You can write yourself or you can get it from the within the data frame. You can do as per your requirement. Okay, we get the deletion and insertion. Now we get, if you want to access a particular item in the data frame. So there are again two methods, ilog as well as the log. So first we have a df.log. Here we write 103. 103 is the location. So when we have this one, we are getting the option. We get the name of the student. We are getting the marks of the students, physics and math. So when we access the location, entire row is get reverted. So we are getting the entire row as a result using the location function. Okay. So if you want to get the data frame with the same shape, you want to get the shape and some other functions of data frame. So we are creating the data frame again. Now we are taking one more data frame 1, because we need to do some calculations over there now. So we have created two data frame 1 and data frame 2. In the data frame 1, we are having some students, and we in the data frame 2, we are having less students. So we want to do, or we want to add these data frame. So there is a multiple options here. First of all, we are having the append function. What append function will do, it will provide the new data that you want to merge at the end of the data frame. For example, in the first, we are having the last index for Pranav 93. So the next index that we want to append, that is the Satish 85. So it is mapped at the end of the previous data frame D1. So what we write here, data frame 1 dot append function, and in the bracket we have provided the name of the second data frame that we want to add. So append will do at the last index. Okay. Now in the previous one, we see the result will came up like that. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the index of the first data frame, and 0 again repeated, that is the index of the second data frame that we appended in the D1. But whatever the problem we will have, if we want to locate the index 0, we will getting the two values. To clear that one, we have to write this thing, ignore index. It means it will ignore the index of data frame 2 and will provide continuation with the data frame 1 index. So if we run like this, so just one. First I need to run this one. Yes, first I need to write object has no function. Just wait. I have updated with the Python 3.11 and this is done in the Python 3.8. So I need to change the function. I will do that. So if we want to aggregate that function, we can do this append function. Let me recall. In the data frame, let me do it this way. Data frame D1 we have done, data frame D2 we have done, and we want to append this one. So error is data frame object have no attribute append. Data frame object D1F. D1F. Okay. Data frame object has append is used. We can use that one. Ignore index is equal to true. Okay, what I will do, df1 is equal to df1, df2, ignore index, print df1. Again, data frame has, I think this append function is not available in the Python 3.11. So I will cross check and will submit this with the new options that we will have. So I will cover with the next option. I'm sorry for that one because some of the features in the Python 3.1 has changed. So that's why it is getting an error. So otherwise in the Python 3.7, Python 3.8, these functions are working in the very well and the syntax is also correct. So due to the updated version, I am getting this error. I will correct this one and send you that file. So deletion. Okay. So let's work with the, I think we have created a series and we have created a data frame and we have done the basic functionality of the series as well as the data frame. Then we will work with the how to upload and just wait. So Pandas will facilitate us to work with the multiple files. Till now, we have created a data frame and the series and do the some of the basic functions in that. So we have noticed that we can do any kind of, we can do with the any kind of file using the Pandas. These are the multiple options. We will go with the CSV file. We will go with the CSV file in this. So CSV is the comma separated values in which we can do any kind of data analysis, data manipulation in the Pandas. So first of all, we will discuss what are these files and what it means and how Pandas will help. So these are the multiple formats. Text delimited files means that is text that is separated by the comma. Excel sheets and some of the JSON files we can handle with the Pandas. We can also handle the HTML or SQL files, but these are not, we are not going to cover all these in this session. We are going to cover only the CSV files in this session. So CSV is the comma separated files. So we can use this basic function pd dot read_CSV. After that, you need to write the path of your uh, file that you want to upload in the Pandas. So once you go with this, you can, these are the path, c dot video tutorial dot Python libraries. This is the path. If it is available in the in your folder, then you can skip that path. You can write just name of the file only, that, for example, COVID-19 India.csv only. If you have it's located somewhere else in your system, that you need to write the path here. This is the path. Otherwise, because I have keep all the files here in the folders that we are using or working in the Jupyter notebook, so I can write only the file name. I will skip this one because I'm not using that path. So it will work. See, it is not defined. Let me run this one. Okay. Okay. So see, the CSV file is loaded. The complete CSV file is loaded. I have not written any path here. I have written the name of the file with the codes because my files are located in the current directory. Otherwise, you need to write the complete path where your file is located. So in this way,
Ma'am,
you can pick any CSV file, pd.read_CSV. Yes, sir.
ma'am, in the like where like previously you had given the path, like in down in the second cell you can show me, like in that the file name has the folder name has the space as well. Whether the folder name with space will it take as a path, like video tutorials and Python libraries, Python code.
Yes, sir. For this, what you need to do, you go the particular location, right click, copy path. You can't type that one because if you type, there is a, if we have a capital or small letter variation, then it will provide you an error. So there is a multiple option. Sometimes we need a double slash. Sometimes we need a single slash. It depends upon the Python version you are using. These are the multiple options. Sometimes it will work or sometimes it will not work. These are the multiple options I'm showing here. We can run it for the same directory. If you have your file in the your project, then we need not to write any path. Just go with the file. Just write the file name. Otherwise, if it is located somewhere in your drive, somewhere in the E drive, D drive, whatever the location you have in your system, then you need to copy that particular path. For example, if you have this folder, right click on, for example, any folder, right click, and after right click, there is one option, copy path. So you need to copy that one and right click, paste it that one. So again, that path will be copied and you can able to execute. Otherwise, if you are typing it, there will be some mistake in the space or something else, and you will get an error. And there are two options. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes double slash will work. It depends upon system to system or different IDs. So sometimes it will work for me, sometimes double slash work for me. It depends. You can try both.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation, ma'am. But my concern is here regarding like not the kind of name error in the path. Just I wanted to know whether the space that usually whenever I have used like using path, if I have given any space between the name of that like folder, so usually it doesn't work. So that's why I asked like whether
No,
the
sir. Let me share my screen. Just wait. Um, I want to share entire. Um, just wait. I want to show you what I'm saying. Just wait, sir. I want to change the
okay.
share one. For example, I have shared my location here. For example, I have this E drive, and E drive, I have this folder. I have this folder, and in this folder, I have one library. For example, this one, and here is the program that I want to run. So, just wait. Here is the program I want to run. I right click this one I have option copy as path. You can copy it and you can paste where you required it. Because if we have any space, there is no problem. If you go by this method, copy as path, it will copy the same space, same alphabets, and there is no problem in that. If it has a, for example, I have copied this one and again share my screen. Just wait.
I got that, ma'am. I got that point.
Matlab, you just need to copy path option, then you will not get any error. Otherwise, there is a, because if you keep two spaces instead of one, then you will get an error.
No,
So
thank you.
always try to use the copy path option if you have another place where your file is stored. Otherwise, you can copy it in the same project. There will be no error. Okay. My screen is visible now.
Do we
Yes,
have the
yes, ma'am.
import function in the software like other?
I'm not getting it, ma'am. Please repeat.
Do we have the import function in this? Import the file function.
Ma'am, import, we are using only Pandas one. At present, we are using only the CSV file function. We have imported only one library, Pandas. For
Okay.
Excel, we need some libraries. If you are using Anaconda, we don't need anything. But if you are using a Visual Code or a PyCharm or Spider, then we need to write some, install and import some packages that can support these files. For example, JSON, HTML, uh, and your Excel formats. We need some extra libraries as well. In Anaconda, we don't need. I think it is clear. You have asked if you want to get any of these files, we need to write any or import any file. I think you asked this one. Am I clear, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just we are doing on with the CSP, we have multiple options where we can upload the files. So we have uploaded the file. This is available in my folder. So we have picked it one. So once we have uploaded the CSV, your CSV now is converted into a Python data frame. So there are some of the basic functions that we can do with the CSV. For example, df.head. Df is the data frame. Dot head. What it will show? It will show all the columns and only rows 0 to 5. Because by default, head function will give you only 5 values. If I write 10 here, so it will give you the 10 rows. Okay. So similarly, there is a one tail function. Tail function will provide you last 5 rows. If you provide some values, then it will provide from the last up to that value. Okay. If you want to check the data type of your data frame, so type function is there. So what you will get? Pandas.code.frame.data frame. So this is the data type. Data type is what? Data frame. Because CSV always in the form of rows and columns, so we are getting data frame only there. Okay. So similarly, we are having some other files as well in the format of CSV that is already available with me. So we are having no issues in, so we have some of the option that we want to do with this. After that, we are going with one project. Okay. So one more data file we have converted into the data frame, that is the age group details. So first we are doing age group details files. Second, we are having similarly age group details. See, there is that one difference in this file. In the first file, we are having serial number, age group, total cases, and percentage. In the second, we are not having this one. So I have saved this file with the no header. So see, when we uploaded that file, we are getting missed with the one row because by default, the pandas read underscore CSV checking the header option. If you are having no header in your file, so what you need to write? You need to give one more parameter header and keep it is equal to none. And if you run this way, so see, now this first row is not going to deal with the header. By default, column numbers are indicating here 0, 1, 2, 3. So for this, we need to add one more option, header is equal to none. Okay. Similarly way, if you want to give name of the column, instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you want your header names as well. So what we can do, you can put names as an attribute, and in the list, in the order, you can write the name of the column's name. So after that, instead of 0, 1, 2, it will provide you the name that you have given in your names attribute. Okay. So some of the more options here, you can add new columns as well. So you can add new columns. For example, in the previous one, we are having serial number, age group, total cases, percentage. And in the next one, we have stated one state column also. But we are not having any data. So what Pandas do, it converted that complete column into the NaN. Okay. So some other options, yes. If we want some of the data that is not available, for example, we are having 100 rows, and from the 100 rows, 90 to 100 rows are empty one. So you want to skip that one. So once you loaded that data into the data frame, you want that rows not to be included in the data. So there is one more parameter, skip rows. So skip rows, we are providing the index. So that index will not be included. That index will not be included in the data frame. This is the one more option with the read underscore CSV. Some more option are there. So we have done with the read underscore CSV. Names option is there. Then we are having the option of the skip rows are there. There is one more option, NaN values. So see, if you are using this one, some of the options are reading as NaN because there is some missing value there in the data. So it will convert into the NaN. So if you want to convert all the values into the NaN, so that after that, when we are using the fill NA, drop NA function, it will count it as, see in the sum of the option, there is a missing is indicating. So what we are doing here, we are converting all the missing values into the NaN, not a number value. So when we run this one, see, we are converting all the values into the NaN so that it can be filtered out by the drop NA and fill NA later on. So we are doing some of the changes in the CSV file. So once we have these changes, we want to convert this CSV file and save this CSV file. So there is a one function, earlier we are using read underscore CSV. Now we have to use with the to underscore CSV. Now we have to use with the to underscore CSV. This function is used to save your CSV file. To save your CSV file. So what we need to do, name of the file. Similarly, data frame that you want to save, to underscore CSV. This is the format. This is the file name that you want to store. So what it will do, it will save the file under this name in the CSV format. If you want to not put any index, write index is equal to false. If there is no header, write header is equal to false. So it will be saved in your file. Similarly, we have done with the creation of data frame series, and we are seeing how CSV can be used in the Pandas. Now we will go with one project in which we will do all the functions that we are using in the Pandas for data manipulations. Okay, so let's start with the project. What we are going to discuss in the project, it is basically a funding based project for the startups in India. So we have taken the data from Kaggle. So what we are doing it here, we are having some of the questions that we will find out in this project. First, how does the funding ecosystem change with respect to time? What is the general amount of startup get up in India? What kind of industries are more preferred for the startups? Does location also play a role in determining the growth of a startup? Who plays the main role in Indian startup ecosystem? And what are the different types of funding for the startup? So these are the basic questions that we want to find out using data analysis of this project. So this data the libraries we are using in this is the NumPy, Pandas, T1 library for data visualization, Matplotlib library for the data visualization. Okay, so these are the libraries that we are going to use in this project. We will do some of the basic features in the data manipulations in this. So we are importing these libraries NumPy, import NumPy as NP, Pandas, import Pandas as PD, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, import Seaborn as SNS. These are the libraries we are using it here. And this is the style of the graph that we want to use for the display. And these are the some of the extra libraries I am using here for the real-time interactive version of my data manipulation. That's why I'm using. For example, interactive, for example, if we are running one queries, I want to get a data from 10 to 80. So if you want to change at runtime your data from 50 to 80, this will be possible only with the IPy wizards. This is the interactive Python wizards where we can do the runtime changes also using your data. So this can be optional one if you want to use. Obviously, we need to install these libraries before importing. Okay, so first start with importing these libraries. Now we are going to do. First of all, we are having one Excel sheet, startupfunding.csv. So we have this CSV file. It is here, startup funding. Yes, this is the Excel sheet I'm going to show here. In this, these are the number of columns. So these are the rows started from here. So we are having serial number, date, date type, startup date, industry vertical, sub vertical, city, location, and extra. So we are using this project. So we have uploaded this file. So see what we are going to do while reading this file. So pandas.read_csv, this function is used to convert this CSV file into the data frame, right? So first we call this file into the data frame. Okay. The second thing we want to see the number of columns that we have in our data frame. So data.columns will provide you all the number of columns that we have in our data frame. Okay. So we are doing some of the functions here. What we are doing, let's see in the data frame. This is this simple some set of data frame that we are having here. So we are doing some of the functions for data cleaning here. So because some of the data isn't available in the string format, so what we are doing here, we are writing one function in the Python, clear string x. X is the value that we are going to pick from the database. And in this function, we are replacing some of the characters that is not useful for our project. So for this, what we are doing here, strx, this is the string function, and we want to replace these type of characters if we have in our database, and these kind of characters we have in our data set into the blank one. It means if this kind of string is available in the data set, it will replace it with the empty. So we are clearing the string data in this CSV file. Okay, after that, what we are doing here, whatever the columns we are having, if there is any spaces, we want to apply this clear string function in these columns. So for this, we are using this method apply. Apply function is used to call any of the function that you have defined in your data cleaning process. So what it will do, it is your data frame name, number of columns you want to apply this function, dot applies the method, and inside this we are using the lambda function that will call this x function and apply for this, and we have provided the name of the function. So this is the way in which we can provide these functions and provide the string cleaning in the entire data set. So this is the first cleaning function that we are going to apply in this project.
Ma'am,
Okay.
what is the meaning of intuitive meaning of XC2 and XA0? Like
In this one. Sir, whenever we are having some Excel data type, just see. In this Excel data type, we are having number of spaces there, number of because I have cleaned this one, it is not shown in this one. Formatting, for example, when we are getting data from different sources, we are having a different formats there. Sometimes our data is not at particular format. Spaces are there, special characters are there. So this is the characters that I have seen in this file. So I have picked that one and I want to replace that set of characters with the empty space whenever my data is loading in the first time. So whenever Excel that I have shown it here, so is there any string? If we have any this kind of special characters unformatted string, so we are replacing it with the empty space. That's why we are doing that, what we are doing here. So later on we will do some more cleaning part here also. So similarly, very simple thing I am doing here. I am just checking any string. If we have any different format that is not as per the CSP required, so we are just replacing it. This is the format that I have given and we are replacing it with the empty one.
so is it the
So
predefined function, the XC2 and XA0 is the predefined function or something like that, or you are defining it for replacement?
X1, this one function clean underscore string X, this one.
No, no. In the replace you have written
Sir,
XC2 and
this is the
XC.
format. This is the format that is in the data. That is within the data.
Okay, it was already available in the
Yes,
data and you're replacing it
already in
with.
the data. I just want if if my data has this kind of pattern, just find it and replace it with the empty string. I'm just doing it that.
Okay.
Sir, this can be any function. It can be, for example,
Yeah.
we are having, for example, actually I have to run this one queue because I have cleaned this one. Just wait. If I have any pattern like star, 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 and after that there is some sequence written there, 1, 2, 3. I want this format anywhere shown. I want to replace it with some T, some character, some empty space. So I can do this function. I can use this function replace. I can give the format here and what I want to replace. Similarly, in the word, we are having find and replace function. It is doing the same thing. It is going to find some pattern. It is going to replace with something that you are providing in this function. It can be anything.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. So this is simple function I have written just to clear the string part and do the basic formatting so that if such kind of patterns is there, it will replace with the empty string. So to call this, because I have written one function and I have more than one columns. I have startup name, industry verticals, or these are the string data type. I have more than one column and I want to apply one function to all the columns in one go. For this, I have written a loop here. See here, I have stored all the data in the call. For call is a variable and where variable is going to find here. Get the startup name, industrial vertical. This is the area where this call function will find. So it will find out all the columns one by one. So inside the column, what it's going to do, this data is the data frame and what index it gets, the particular column. what it will do in this particular column, it will call the apply function, and apply function is calling the using the lambda. Lambda is the magical function in the Python, in which we call runtime any function at the moment. For example, we are calling x here, and in the x we are calling here the clear string function that we have defined here. So what happening here, inside this loop, this function is continuously calling one by other for all the columns, and all the columns get replaced with this kind of string pattern in the entire Excel if it is there. So this is the cleaning of the particular string patterns that we are having in this project. It will do in the one function. It will remove all these kind of mistrings in the one function. So I'm using the loop here. So this part came under the data cleaning. So this is the method. You can, if I have any function only clean, and in the bracket I have write y here. So what we will do, apply lambda y colon only clean in bracket y. It means apply is there, lambda is there, variable can be changed, function name can be changed, but loop is required or not, it depends. If we have more than one column, then loop is required. If we are going to apply it in the single column, then we can do it without any loop also. This is the similar method. The highlighted one is required only. If we are not going to apply for the number of columns, then we can use only this one. X can be y or any variable. Clean string can be any function. Apply function is used to call this at the particular column. I think this cleaning part is okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am,
Sir,
you're audible.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I think this part is clear. We have just call a one cleaning function, and we call it in the only columns using the apply and lambda function. So this is particular one function in which we are cleaning our data. Okay, as this is the project, okay. So we have cleaned the data, uploaded the data in the data frame, we have cleaned the data. Okay. Now, if you want to check the number of columns, just simple as that, data frame name and dot columns. Data is the data frame name, dot columns is the function, and you will get all the columns that we have in our data frame. Okay, if you want to check the number of rows and columns, because if you use the head and tail function, it provides you the basic first or last five. Okay, so if you want to check, because if we have a huge set of data frame, the number of rows and columns are very large. To want to check how many rows and how many columns, just you need to write data.shape. Data.shape. So what it will saying that we are having 3044 rows and 10 columns. So this is the shape of our data in this CSV. Okay. Now, if we have any missing values, if we have any misprinted values, or we have any not formatted values, so what we need to clean the data. The first part is that before doing any machine learning algorithm data validation, first we need to do data pre-processing and data cleaning part. So there are some of the methods that we can use here. So one of the method is here. First, we need to check. What we need to check, that do we have any missing values? So do we have any missing values? Just wait. Do we have any missing values? So we have, there is a function is null. First, I am explaining it, then we will show how. So is null is a method. When we call this one, what it will provide you, it provide you the information that is there any null value in your database, or your data frame. If it is there, then it will give you the number where we are having missing values. So when we get this, there are two options. One is the fill NA, another one is the drop NA. So by this, if we are having some values indicated using this is null function, then we are having two options, fill NA and drop NA. We can remove these values or we can fill these values. So that is came under the data cleaning part. So what we are doing in this project, just wait. So now we will see what we have done in this project. Okay. So first we call data dot is null. This is the function that I have just discussed. So what is this indicate means? So is null will provide you if there is any missing value. Missing value means there is a NaN value. There is a some string that is not the part of your data or something like that. If it is there, it will give you the count. So if you want to check, for example, we are having 3044 rows. So how many rows having the missing value? So what we need to have a sum. So for this, we write this is null function that is null function dot sum. So with this, what we get the total number of missing values rows in particular column in particular data frame. So if you want that in the some ascending or descending order, then we need to call one more function sorted values. So by default, it is false. If you want to show in the descending, so you need to write the order here. Ascending is equal to false. It means what? We are showing the sorted values in the descending order. Okay. So first function will provide me the total number of rows in which we have no data. So is null will provide the total locations. Dot sum will provide you the count, and this will provide you the sorted order. So once we get the total number of rows where we are having no values in the data, so we can find it out the total percentage of missing value data, so that we can able to decide what we need to do, what kind of function we can do to fill NA, to drop NA. Because if we have, for example, I am giving you one option. If we have only one row that is having all the values missing, so we can simply drop it. We have no problem, because when we are dropping it, we are losing the data. So when we are using the fill NA function, we are giving some values. So it is not possible to give all the empty rows some value. So we need to decide here if there is a percentage very large. So we need to decide differently. If we are having very less number of missing values, so we need to decide differently, because if we are having on one or two cells, so we can do some mean function, we can do some median interpolate functions to fill that value. Otherwise, we will drop it. So percentage will guide us how many or how much data is missing in the data frame. So we can able to decide our cleaning methods on the basis of that. So for percentage, what we are doing here, we are getting is null value total here, total count, how many total rows here, and 200. So what we are getting here, we are getting the percentage, and after calculating the percentage, we are sorting it. Okay. So once we are getting it, we are putting that one to the under the missing data. So when I run this one, so this is the output. So what we are getting here, because I have done the cleaning process in this entire data set, I am using the same file here. So it is providing you the total 00000. Otherwise, in the original data set, there is a sum of the numbers. For example, in date, we are having 15% data is missing. For example, the industry vertical, 10% data is missing. For example, the city, 2% data is missing. So you are getting the data like that in the draw data set without pre-processing. because I have gone through this entire project before giving you this demo. So that's why my same file I'm using here, it provides you the 000 because I have done that part. Otherwise, this methods will provide you total number of missing data, percentage of missing data that is in your project. Okay, so is there any doubt in this section? So this provides you information if there is some missing value in your data and how much percentage that, so that you can able to decide what you will going to do or accept in your cleaning part. Okay. So if we have this kind of data, for example, taking one particular column. Okay, taking one particular column, that column name is remarks, and under the remarks, total NaN values there, series A, series B. So whatever the data we have, it provides you the total number of count. So what kind of, this is just an example. For example, we are having number of columns. In the number of columns, we are having one column remarks. If I write value dot count function, it will provide if we have 10 different set of values. So according to the 3044, one values is how much, two's values are how much, three's are how much, it will provide you that information if you want to check. For example, NaN values. NaN values is what? 2625. So what it indicates that the remarks column has 2625 rows that is having NaN value. So we need to decide what we will do here. So what we will do, because we are having a total number of rows 3044. So what I did here, I removed the remark column because it is not possible to fill these much rows with the missing information. So I removed that one. So see, data cleaning, what I did here, I removed the remarks column. Why I removed here? Because maximum data from the remark column is NaN. It means missing one. So I can't take that one key. I will do some of the processes with this kind of columns. We need to check in the data cleaning that if we have missing data, it is in the column or it in the rows part. If we have total complete columns that is not having any data, simply we will do drop. We will drop that column. If we have some of the rows, we will do some fill NA or some other function. But if the column is totally having missing information, so preferably to drop that one, not included in the data analysis part. So all these are the part of the data cleaning. Okay, so we have done the initial formatting, empty string, then we have check out the total number of missing values, then we analyze how we can check the particular column for the same, and how we can able to decide we need to drop it or not. Okay, now we will further move with the some other function in the cleaning. Okay, so next we have written one more function for the cleaning of the data that we have in our data frame. So because it is a data that we are using for the funding purposes, funding data that we are using here. So I have written here. This is one function that is the clean amount. Amount is what? It is a particular column. That particular column we are using here, that is amount in USD. This column we are talking about. This column, if you want to see in the data set, see, there is a format amount in USD. So 20 commas, 00 comma, 00 comma. This is the particular format that we have seen here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this particular column using this function clean amount. So X is here, the value in that column. So what I'm going to do, I'm using the multiple options here. So see one by one all the options. If this particular value is empty, this double quotes and having nothing in it, it means what? It is an empty string. So what we need to do that, if it is there, so we need to join it with what? This pattern, anything we can't. If C, anything we can't. if S is string X, matlab, if we are having unseen these options, so what we are going to do, replace it with the, if there is a comma, see there is a 20 comma 00 comma, so we are replacing this comma. If there is a plus, we are replacing this plus. If there is a lower function to undisclosed, replace this one. If we are having n/a pattern, then we are again clear this one. And if f has no value, it means there is a no funding amount, then I'm going to prefix it with the minus 999, because I am pressing that value. I can write it 0 also. I can write it this one. It indicates to me that this particular project has not given any funding amount. So in this function, I am, as per my project, I have written a function that can clean one particular column amount in USD. According to the amount, I am going to check the pattern. Whatever in the pattern, after that, whatever in the pattern in this, if we are having, after that we are going to join. We are going to join with this thing. And if we are going to replace the comma, we are going to replace the plus, we are going to replace this string. Undisclosed is the string that is written in the this, because we need only amount is there. So if there is a any string is there, we will go to replace it with the empty. And if there is a empty, it means nothing is there, so we are going to fill it with minus 99. So this is the function first we have defined as per my requirement. And now after defining that function for the cleaning, I want to call it. Similarly, previous we have called it in the loop, but now I just want to call this particular function in the one column only. So the particular column that I want, after that, this particular column is going to adjust, and I'm going to call the apply function again here using the lambda. And for the lambda, I have written X here. What I'm using, I'm converting it into the float, and I'm also calling this clean function here, the clean function that I have defined earlier. So in this way, we call any cleaning function in particular column for the data cleaning purpose, right? So once we have done this with cleaning, so whatever the exact value we want to visualize it. So this is the graph. So where this graph came here. So whatever the column that is refined after cleaning, or we are going to plot it. And in this, we are going to plot the line plot, and the color is set to the black. And the title that we have given to this graph is the distribution amount with the font size 15, and by plt.show, this graph is shown to you. So run this code. Okay. So once I run this one, this particular column amount in USD is going to clean with this parameter, and all the missing values or the none values are replaced with the minus 999. That indicate that it is a no funded amount given to this particular project. So later on, I will filter this one also. So this is the graph showing that the 0 to 500 to 10,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,050. So we are having the graph range. Okay. So particular function I have called for the cleaning a particular column amount in USD. Next, because we are having some date columns also in the data sets. I will show you again. So in this, we are having a date function, date column also. Sometimes it is by slash, sometimes it is because we are having multiple formats for the date. So it will provide you various problems for while calculating or manipulating the data if you have multiple format. So what we need to check the entire data set. What are the different kinds of formats? See, there is a format like there is 12/05 means once we are using slash, after slash next we are using the dot. We are using one slash and double slash. We are not using any slash. So there are multiple formats in the date that is used under this data set. So in this, what we are going to do, if we are having a particular type, then it is okay. Otherwise, we are having some set of values. So we are manually replacing these values. So in this cleaning, we are doing the manual function. Earlier example, we are using the coding to do the cleaning task. But in this date example, I am using it manually. What I am doing here, date, in the date data type equal to, we are checking it. If it is there, then we are going to assign with this, replace with this. So inside the date column, we are checking the date, we are computing, we are equating that one. If it is there, this is the case, then we are replacing it with it. So these are the some of the cases that I have taken from my date column. So after that, I have replaced manually. You can write the function as well. You can write the function as well. Okay. So some of the corrections that I have did in the particular format. Let's run this one. Okay. So there is some manual, in the previous one, we have done the manual calculations, but now we have done some function formatting to format the date. Okay. So first of all, we have to extract some of the value that is in the date functions. To extract the values, first of all, we need to convert that particular column to date and time method, because when we have only Messer, I just want to know, do we have extra time for the 10 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have 10 minutes extra, because my time is for 11 to 1. So can I
Yes, ma'am.
complete?
You can take, ma'am. If you need 10 minutes more,
Okay.
you can take.
I will try to finish it at the time, but it will take, then I will take. Okay. So in the date and month function, what at one, I've showed you what I'm going to do. See here, we are having a one date in the particular format 09012020. So if I want to extract one particular option, for example, I want to know the particular month, I want to know the particular month and year, because date exact day is not important. I want to extract some of the value from this particular date. So I'm going to write here this function for this. But I am going to extract year and month. Means I am going to make one new column, extract information from the data given and getting a new column. That column is what? Year and month. I'm getting this information from the date. And for this, I'm going to convert this column into the date and time data type. To convert it, what I write to date time. Inside this is the data frame name. This is the column name date. So I have defined one format here. Earlier, I have changed the date in that particular format. First is the day, second is the month, third is the year. And what I want to extract, year, and second I want to extract the month. So in this way, to handle this one, I am extracting two information from this date column. One is the year and other one is the month. And I am also giving the format pattern, day, month, year. So same format I am using, and inside this I am getting the month as well as I am getting the year, and I am put that one into the new column. That is the data, year and month. After that, I am checking the total number of distinct values count, sorted in descending order, and by show, if had I have shown it 10 here, it means top 10 rows will be shown. Okay. So once I get this, I have stored this information into the one variable year and month. So I going to plot this one. See, This information is shown after doing this. See what I am getting here. 2015 is the year, 01 is the month. 2015 is the year, 02 is the February, March. So from 2015 to 2020, we are getting this plot month and year wise distribution. So this total number value count I am providing here. This is providing you the number. For example, in 2015 January, we are getting up to 50 projects funding. In 2015 to February, we are getting more than 50, 55. So this is the count and month year wise distribution. We are extracted from the date only. Okay. So some more thing we can do. We are getting the count here. It means if you want to see the top 10 years in which we are having maximum funding in the project. So we are highlighting here 2016 January, 2016 February. We are having a maximum projects that is get the funding 104 in the 2016 January, 100 in the February one. So similarly, we have done the same coding here using the data and function we are getting, and we are going to plot this one. Okay. So we learn how to check the data and how to extract the data from the data we already have in the data set. Okay. So there is a one question. Let's check the maximum funding for the startup. So now I'm going to check the total number of amount of the fund that is released at the maximum in that particular project. So for this amount is available in this column. I'm going to drop all the empty columns. That is the minus 999 value that I have used earlier. I want to sort this one. And after getting, I'm going to pick only the maximum value. So earlier we have seen maximum, minimum, mean, standard deviation. So these all functions are available here. So what we are going to use particular column. In the column, we are using the drop function to eliminate the NA values. Then we are sorting it and we are picking only the maximum value in this particular column, and we are getting the total amount of the fund that is having the maximum. It means up to this much amount we are getting the funding. Okay. So next, same thing we are doing, but this time we are using the interactive plot. For interacting, I have using the IPy wizard library, and to use this one, I have to write add the rate decorator and interact. It is the predefined function in that library. I have written the same function here that I have used here, but instead of maximum value, I am using the all set of values. So see, whatever the change we are getting, I'm changing. See, the total number of values is changed here. So this is the interactive. This is the interactive. Runtime, my values are changing. Right? So interact function is there. Runtime, my values are changing. Okay. So if I want to run a query, for example, we are having a different process, different startups. So one startup name is Paytm. Paytm, where a very much or renowned platform for the money exchange nowadays. So one day it was a startup. So when it was startup in the 19s, in the COVID time. So at that time, this particular startup has get how many grants? This is quoted here. Paytm is getting how many grants in which they a year. So how many amount it is given to that. So everything is get and answered in this. So what query I written here, data dot startup name equal to Paytm. So why I write Paytm here? I can write anything. I can write Flipkart here. I can write a Rapido bike taxi here. I can write any startup name. So whatever the name it is written here, it will provide you the query. So what we are doing here, the query analysis part in the project. So similarly, what we want to get it from that, you can particular data frame. column name, how you want to condition. You can use the Boolean indexing here. You can use the logical condition here. Anything what you are want to write in the query, you can do. Okay. Similarly, Flipkart. Okay, one more thing here. We want to get the minimum amount that is sanctioned here, because we have written minimum is 0 and we substitute that minimum by the -99. So that's why when I write the minimum, it will run me this answer. Okay, so sorted number of values, sorted number of values. So if we want to check the amount as with the startup name. So in this query, I have using two columns instead of one. I have using the two columns. Earlier I had done the mistake. I have put the bracket here. So it was not there. It is a 2D array because I need a two columns there. So we need to put it in like that. So after that, what I need the sorted way with the data we want, and this function is using with the help of group by. So it is called a group by function because I want to group these queries. I want to relate the particular amount with the startup name. So that's why I have written here, by using amount, we want to sort this order. So order by command. So we are getting this one. So what data we are getting here? Amount and startup name. Because we are using the ascending is equal to true, so minimum is highlighted here. If I put it as false, so it will give me the maximum first. Okay. So if I want to check how many startups are there in which there is a no funding, why I use -99? Because I put it in the data cleaning part there. That figure it is equal to. So it will provide me the number of rows 971. So out of 3044, 971 projects are there which get no funding at all. It's okay. So if you want to get the average amount of the startup, so average, just we need to write mean value, particular column name, and write the mean value. Mean will provide you the average. Okay. So similarly, some other queries that we can got, let's check the number of funding each startup. So I want startup wise number of funding, means, for example, some projects got funding for the 2 times, 3 times, and more than 1 time. So we can plot it as well. So similarly, we are getting funded for the 2, 4, 5, 7 startups, in which Ola get the funding for the 8 times, Swiggy get the funding for 8 times, Paytm for 7 times, Argan Club. These are the renowned app now time we are using it. These all are getting the funding amount and number of times they are getting the funding amounts. These are the graph indicating that for this, the query that we have written here, we have just checked total number of funding, length of the data, startup name, total number of length, and unique. For example, if Paytm is there, we are getting the length of the Paytm only, the count will provide. Earlier, we have done the count and length function to get the number of items. So that function is used here. So data dot values dot head, data dot values dot head, but we are getting the total number of values under particular head. Okay, the next query, what kind of industry are more preferred for the startup? Because we want to check the particular industry. So we need to figure out how many projects that particular, just a bit, x is equal to and y is equal. Okay. So let's run this one. Okay. So what we have here, the query we are using here, we are using the verticals here because this is preferred with the number of name of the industry that will get startup on. We are not getting startup. So we are looking for that. In this, we are putting a query over here. So industry, we want to check the data, industry verticals, total count, and we want to show the top 10. So when run this query, we are getting the value. The commercial internet getting the higher. startup funding, technology getting the second one, e-commerce at the second one, and education at the least funding. And this is the graph shown that was the out of the data. Okay. Similarly, some other queries we can do with the some other verticals. Okay, I will check again. So in this way, we can see that we can upload any CSV in the Pandas file and convert it into the data frame. We can do number of cleaning, data cleaning methods. We can run your own method. Some of the projects are, I have done the feature engineering part also. So it depend upon project to project. It varies upon data to data. So what are the cleaning tasks required? How you can do the feature engineering? Is there any feature required or already having some features? We need to decide depend upon the data we have. So there are it is not able to cover in the 2 hours workshop. So we need, I will provide you the content. You can check it out by your own. All these are the tested notebooks that I will provide you after my lecture. You can go through with these, and if you have any query, you can get to the Dr. Meherchand, and I will reply it back also. So I will provide you some of the practice projects, so you can do it by yourself. So let's complete this one. The data in this, what we want to, let's analyze this subvertical industry. Subvertical industries means inside that particular, there are some other, for example, a smaller version of this. So subverticals, again, particular column where we have the data, we count the values, and here we are slicing it. See, we are using the slicing feature here. It means from row 1 to all. One column end means we are starting from row 1. Why we are using from row 1? Because 0 is the header one, so we are not using that one. And empty means till the end we are using. So we will show the top 20 only. So after that, we are plotting it here, and okay. So we will plot it here. Just wait. Okay. So this graph is plotted after getting the details and subverticals of the funding row. Okay. Does location also play a role? Because that question we put it in the starting of the project. Is there location matters? Basically, yes, because when we start a new business, we will always looking for the location. If you have urban or metro city, you will have a more opportunity to get the project. So this will answer accordingly. So here this we are again going, because location is put in the columns. So we will get the information in the city column, and again we are using the value dot count. And if we are having multiple cities there, so we are using the data cleaning in query also. And we
Ma'am, please unmute your mic. Dr. Upinder, ma'am, please unmute your mic.
okay, I'm not getting when I muted. Sorry for
Yes,
that.
I actually there was some unmute mic. That's why I mute all.
Okay. Okay, so should I repeat the previous one from where I get that one? Actually, sir, please tell me
One step.
from.
Yes, yes, from this place. From this
Okay,
place.
okay. So we have understanding that location always play a role in getting the funding areas, because we are discussing this project. So see, in this example, Bangalore get because Bangalore is the IT hub and we are having the maximum resources there. So we are having maximum chances in the Bangalore, and other locations where we have a lowest fund, we are getting a least funding in these areas. So see, whatever the query we have run, because location is getting from the city area, and value dot count provide you the total number of value and projects that in the particular city head. So this query can be done in the any column if you want any number, count the number of unique values there. And there is one example also that we can replace the string or particular formatting we can do in the query part also, if you have not done the earlier one. Okay. So next one, if you want to check the different number of words or the most intensity word that we have used in this particular column, that we can also plot the word cloud. For word cloud, we need to use this library. From word cloud, import word cloud. So word cloud will provide you this sort of output. It provide you the word cloud out of the data that you have in your CSV file in particular column. So it will also provide you the lowest intensity and highest intensity to what we have done. Word cloud, maximum font size we have decided. We have decided the width and height and the background. And we have the queries word cloud. This are the default settings. You need to write generate. And from where we need to generate, you need to write the column name. So this is the query, and after that you want to show that image. This is the particular size it is showing by default. If you are not going to set it, plt.image.show. So what is going to show the world cloud? So it will give you this output. Okay. So once more, we have some other queries. Uh, Investors on the startups. First, we have discussed the different startups that get the funding. So now we will check who are going to invest in these startups, whatever the uh, groups or funding agencies that are work for these startups. So we will check it one. So see, data cleaning part is also done in the query section also, if you have not done it previous one. So we are checking one column here, investor name. So we are checking if there is a undisclosed one investor. So we are completing that one with the uh, missing values, or convert that into empty one. So after converting that one, we are going to count the number of values under the unique head. And after that, we will check who are going to funding these one. The undisclosed investors are those that are not providing any funding under minus 999. Otherwise, Ratan Tata have funded 25 projects. Indian Angel Network, these are the some of the funding agency names that is funding for particular startups. Okay. So what are the different types of funding for the startup? So we can also check, because funding is also on all the full funding projects. Sometimes we are getting only the seed funding. Sometimes we are getting the private equity or some limited amount of funds. So we can also figure out from this data set. So what are the particular funding type in this particular, just wait. Okay, so we are getting that. Basically, we are getting the private and seed funding, and last we are getting very minimum amount of that different funding. So this is the project. I will share you with this. So with this, we are getting know about that pandas can able to analyze, manipulate, clean your data, process, analyze your queries as per your requirement. You can process your data, and always remember one thing: this data varies. that if I have chosen one project, if I have used some medical project, then the data cleaning, data manipulation task will be different because the data pattern changes there. If you want to analyze the heart disease, so data patterns will be different one. If we are using some educational data or some kind of data, so it will depend upon your data set. So what is the requirement? So just go understand the data first, then do with the manipulation and data cleaning part. I will show the multiple, I will provide you the multiple notebooks and you can practice it on. If you have problems in that, you can get back or email me. I will give you the query and I will provide you the answers also that. So, Mayor sir, it is all about as me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for today's session. Really very informative, knowledgeable, and various examples has been presented during this session. All type of queries also has been taken. Once again, I want to ask from the participant, if you have more query or you want to ask any question, please feel free to ask. You are permitted to unmute your mic. Entire the session also, there was no, the mic was permitted to unmute during the session. Okay, so email contact and whatever you need other information, we timely will provide you. So first, if you have any question, please feel free to ask and you can unmute your mic. Anyone, please.
Yes, sir. Actually, it's very informative session. Thank you so much, ma'am, first of all,
Thank you, ma'am.
for giving us so much of ideas. And my query is, while using the line plot, the curve, it
Okay.
seems to have some peaks, Without having the peaks, is it possible to draw a smooth kind of curve?
Ma'am, it depends upon the data points. You will get a peak or a smoothness. It is only reflected from the data only. We are not going to format that line graph. Whatever the data that is presented in the column, you are getting the graph accordingly that only, ma'am.
Okay, so still we have to use the same command like line plot. Am I right, ma'am?
You can use the different plots, ma'am. You can use the bar plot, histogram, line plot, scatter plot. It depends ki you want a graph and you want to show the data in which format. Depends
Yeah,
upon.
I'm interested to draw the smooth curves only. For that,
Okay.
which
So for
command has
that,
to be
ma'am, you
used?
can use the histogram. In the histogram, you can use the option kind, and there will a smooth line over all the data plots will be shown at that time. I will also
Okay.
show send one of the Jupyter notebook of mine in which histogram is plotted with some of the data points. Then you will get the example of the same.
Okay, ma'am. And only one more query, ma'am.
Hanji,
Sometimes
ma'am.
we are using the library NP, sometimes we are using PD, Pandas. Where
Yes,
to
ma'am.
use NP, where to use PD, still I have a doubt in that.
Ma'am, when we want to call some function, for example, I have used some of the areas np.sum. I have to calculate some values that have some numerical significance. So I need NumPy as well with the pandas. If you want to call some of the functions from NumPy library, then you need to import both. Otherwise, pandas have all these things also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any more question, please? Dear participant, if you have any more question, please unmute your mic. Ma'am, I think there is no more question. Can you please unshare the screen?
Okay, sir. Just a minute. Hanji,
Okay. Yes, wonderful. Dear participant, we got various queries. One thing is related to the content which we are sharing. The content which are being presented during the session, all being are uploaded in this platform where you are joining the session. And for those people who are registered at mattechguru.com, okay, and some participants who are not registered at this platform, we sharing all the content on their email address, and also yesterday we share the content in the zip folder. So I go to one query, the files are not working. So the thing is, the folder is in the zip format. You need to unzip it, and the participant who are attending the session through their account, the files are uploaded separately, and you can use them. All the files which are in the Python or Jupyter notebook also will be available, and yesterday's all the file has been uploaded, and the folder which I shared in the WhatsApp group contain all the files in Jupyter file as well as the presentation also. Okay, if still you have any kind of question, you can WhatsApp me, or either you can call me. We will try to accommodate as possible as we can do for you. So the session was really one more question I shared today, one survey file. So please submit your survey, this survey, so that we can get some more information from you, and we will manage all the activities in the coming days. And I hope that this will be very informative and knowledgeable and very supportive to all of you. Now, we would like to appreciate our today's resource person. Ma'am, first of all, very thank you to share your time with us. On the behalf of everyone present, I extend our sincere gratitude for your enlightening session on data manipulation with the Pandas. Your expertise and insight have fully enriched our understanding of this essential aspect of data science. Your in-depth knowledge, coupled with the practical examples and real-world application, are shared, has provided us and with valuable insight and skills that we can apply in our respective fields. The clarity and enthusiasm with which you conveyed complex concept made the learning experience both enjoyable and educational. Your commitment to the field of computer science, especially in the areas such as distributed computing, cloud computing, data science, and machine learning is truly commendable. Your contribution to the research and your dedication to teaching are in the inspiration to us all. So thank you very much, and the certificate of appreciation being presented to our today's resource person, Dr. Upinder Kaur, is hereby acknowledged and honored for her exemplary contribution as the keynote speaker on the topic of data science, data manipulation with the Pandas. So, ma'am, thank you very much for your valuable time. And I hope that today's session is really very wonderful, enjoyable, and very informative to all the participants. Tomorrow, we will join the session at the same time. And I request to all the participants, please join the session well in time. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So rest all the information will be shared on the WhatsApp group as well as on your email address. So keep in touch through these two medias. Thank you to all. Now the session is over.